How's it, guys? Welcome back to FX Rhapsody. Today we're going to be doing analysis again. It's going to be on two pairs, Euro USD dollar and the British pound USD dollar. So before we hit the charts, just go visit my website. It's on the bottom left corner over here, where we can see some previous analysis. You can see some nice other trading information, especially when you're starting out on trading. Just go visit it. There's some nice video categories. Preferred brokers tab. Just go look at that. These guys are brilliant when it comes to trading, forex, currencies, indices, you name it, Nasdaq, you name it. These guys are just brilliant in their spreads and all that. And then also the resource tab. Just go. We're doing analysis on with the COT reports. Sorry, guys, with the COT reports, and then you can download those for free on my website. Okay, so let us hit the charts. We're going to try and not be too long today. We're starting off top-down analysis. We're going to be doing Euro USD first. I want to look at the monthly first before we hit the daily. So on the monthly time frame, what we can see is, obviously, if you scroll down, there was this previous low that's obviously now being pushed through. This low was respected multiple times over a couple of months and years. Now we can see this price breaking through it. Now, will this be, we are looking at just past halfway through the month. So will this candle stay below this line, or will it just have a nice pullback and end up above this line? Time will tell. We will have to look at the charts and see what's happening. Daily time frame, just expanding it a little bit. So on a daily time frame, again, this is coming from previous analysis that's last week. So this is the area that was broken. And that's the big, like we saw just now, that on the monthly time frame, that big push through. Okay, what had happened was it did create this fair value gap in the market. So will we see price returning to this? Price usually comes and retraces back. It gets pulled towards those areas, but we will have to see first if that is the case. If the momentum carries on downwards, then we will obviously not see that push, and that will become a priority later. 4 hour time frame. Okay, 4 hour time frame. Once again, we saw this fair value gap that was formed in the market. I did do a previous analysis on that, saying that price might return to this because this is always where price gets drawn towards. But currently we have got this high over here, and we have got, let me just bring it in a bit closer so we can all see. And we have got this low. These are the points of interest, and obviously the low, as it, we have got a downwards movement, a downtrend, but there's any time that market can turn. So we're going to look for those signals for the turn in market when it starts getting bullish again. So I'm marking out on the higher time frames. I'm marking out these two spots just to see what price does when it gets to those areas. 1 hour time frame. Okay. Couple of things I want to show you on the 1 hour time frame. If I can just scroll in and then scroll out. Okay, I'm going to just run back a little bit to last week's analysis. For those of you that didn't watch it, go back. I normally keep it on my description on previous analysis. But what happened last weekend, or not last weekend's analysis, we had this line that was in here, that I was saying that I am just marking out, because this is what I do. Normally marking out, for the end of the week areas. What I'm going to be looking at too is the next week areas. Okay, so I had this high and I had this low, but we could see that price broke through this area. It came back and then it just carried on downwards. A nice little sell opportunity that arose, but you can take it from that high to that swing low. Okay, and as we can see, price, I'm just going to expand this a little bit because this was our low. Okay, and as you can see, price basically broke through it, came back, retested that area. Okay, I don't like my line very straight. So price came back, retested that area, came down again, and then it made a nice push to the upside. So I had my Fibonacci on this swing low to that swing, nothing happened, then it came back again, and then it moved up. And look at this nice little, price retracing all the way to that 62% area. And that's a brilliant little entry for those of you that uses the Fibonacci to trade as well. You know, it's a brilliant little tool. So, I mean, if you caught that little sell, you would have looked at 150 odd pip profit that you could have taken there. So just, you know, guys, always be wary about all these little signals in the market. But currently what we're looking at is, again, towards, you know, like we always do, end of the week, we're just highlighting two little areas, because we did it last weekend, you know, it broke, it nicely retraced, Fibonacci downwards 150 pips. Now we're doing the same again. So we've got a high, we've got a low. So let's see what price does when it gets to this area. If it's going to start breaking the structure, breaking area, going upwards, or is it just going to come tap it, go down? We will have to see. Do not just predict the market, react to what it gives you. Okay, so that is all from for the USD or Euro USD. Let's move on to our British pound. No, that's the wrong one. We're looking at this one, sorry. Okay, so we are looking at the British pound US dollar. We're going to be starting off on the daily time frame. Again, top-down analysis, starting higher time frames, working our way down, just to get a feel for what the market is busy doing. Again, we looked at this last week. As I was saying that price broke the structure or broke this area, heat liquidity came up, and now we can see just, you know, price carrying on downwards. Okay, price coming up nicely, hitting that area of the fair value gap. You know, it just filled that area very nicely, because with this nice push downwards, you could see this imbalance in the market happening. Price is filling that gap and then carrying on downwards. Okay, so that, again, another opportunity that you could have taken. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Okay, I'm zooming out again. I'm just looking at where we were last week. Yeah, right about there. So I'm just gonna pull this. Whoops, so daisy. Okay, so we had this trend line. This was not from there. We were talking about the trend line that was from here. There we go. Okay. We had this trend line in the market. I'm just gonna draw it so nicely. Like to have it nice and straight. Okay, cool. So that is our trend line. Let's just zoom in a little bit and then we see. So last week, come now, charts. Okay, so last week what we were looking at is price basically hitting this area here. Okay, this is our analysis up until last week. So what I was saying is price respecting this trend line very nicely, as we could see a couple of times. So price came up here, and I still said, let's see if price can break the trend line or continue to the downside. Obviously, what it did, it continued to the downside. You know, it broke that area in the market over there, which it then in turn created a imbalance candle, you know, a fair value gap. Price went down, you know, and then came up again. And with this trend line in place, we could see a nice pullback towards this fair value gap. Price gets drawn towards this area. So you will be waiting for any sell opportunities, because we still see the lows being taken out all the time. Okay, so continuation downwards, downtrend. You know, that's why we're looking at higher time frames as well. So you could see price turning up again. You're not buying. You can buy if you want to go up. But I mean, we are looking at a downtrend, so you're looking at sell opportunities. So price went down, came back up, made a pullback into that fair value gap where you could have sold off. But not just the fair value gap. I mean, we're always looking at one or two or more confirmations, obviously. So we have got this swing high, price respecting that trend line, came down, made a swing low, then started retracing up. We had an area in the market that we earmarked, obviously with this fair value gap, and then another area in the market which you could have just had a nice sweeter entry will obviously be your 62% area, which it did. It came in, it tapped that area very nicely, and then it started moving down. So if you were trading 4 hourly, you could have caught it in the 1 hourly time frame. But I mean, even on the 4 hourly, if you just tapped it in, you know, minimal drawdown, and another, you know, it went down another, 180 odd pips. So that's another nice little sell on a pair. So catching all those pips on different currency pairs. It's always nice. Okay, so that was it. So now what we're seeing is price coming, retracing back again to that trend line. So will it respect it again? Will this be an area that it breaks through? Okay, so we will have to look at that. Obviously earmark that. So keep that trend line in place, especially on the 4-hourly time frame. Just going to see if I can hold it there. I just want to double check if it is definitely marked for a hourly. Yep, that's cool. So let's leave it in there for the hour. If we look at the hourly time frame. Okay, there we go. So we have got our trend line in place here. So we are looking at now the hourly time frame, and we're gonna just look. Obviously this is going to be the area that we're going to be focusing on right there. Okay, that's going to be our area. But then when it breaks that area, I would like to see price obviously taking out this high, because then we know we're going to start looking at price, you know, making its move to the upside, you know, breaking structure. So we're going to have that area, and then we're going to I'm going to just earmark this area. So it's a big area that we're going to look at. Okay, let's just zoom it out a bit. There we go. So 3 areas of interest this week for this pair. It's going to be the highs and the lows, and then obviously this trend line that has been respecting. So let's see what it does with this trend line, if it is going to respect that area, because currently I'm just going to take that out. You know, we also have a nice area over here that we're going to be looking at. So again, you know, all this confirmation. So this is going to be key to see what's happening this week. Go down to your lower time frames as well. Just make sure that you catch it on a lower time frame for those sweeter entries. Let's look at the COT reports, guys. We didn't look at the COT reports on Euro USD, but just, you know, you guys can do that yourself on the British pound, US dollar. So let's look at the British pounds. And the British pound side of things, we are looking at, you know, lots of longs being closed in the market, lots of shorts. Okay, so or a lot more longs than shorts basically. So we can see that net position, it went from a weak position from a -80, and it started getting stronger to a -56. Now again, you know, just more and more, you know, longs being closed more than shorts. So basically we see that continuation downwards maybe. So again, it was a small push upwards. Now we're going to look at that trend line to see if it's respecting it or not. So guys, that's all from my side today. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more analysis and other trading content coming your way. And guys, I hope you have been having a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and happy trading.